The Colorado Avalanche start December off on the right foot with a nice win over the Vancouver Canucks. So let's talk about that on a new episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in and making it your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one podcast network in the country. That is appreciated as well. If you want to get in on our conversation, then join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. You chat with us one-on-one. We get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very show. We'll get to the subtext crew a little bit when they chime in on this 3-1 win the Avs took over Vancouver. And let's start right at the top, Zach. So I overall, I thought this was a very good game. I thought the first period was a little bit sluggish. And then when they had a power play, which stopped me if you've heard this before, they didn't score on it, but it looked good. And then after that, like that kind of just you can sometimes take momentum of a good power play and carry it over into the 5-on-5. And I thought from there on out for the rest of the first, it was better. And then the second period to me was the Avalanche have had a lot of good periods this year. I mean, when you have the record that they have, yeah, you're going to have a lot of good periods. I loved that second period. I thought they were everywhere. They were great offensively. You know, they were forcing Vancouver to be out there for long shifts because they were keeping the puck in their offenses. I just thought the second period just really set the tone. And while this wasn't like a blowout win, 3-1 win, it was one of those things where you felt completely comfortable that this was going to be in the win column at the end of it when it was over.
This probably would have been a blowout win if it weren't for Lankinen for Vancouver in net. He played pretty solid game, all things considered. Totally agree. First period, especially at the beginning, it felt like Vancouver, especially with that early goal, you're like, okay, here comes Vancouver, always plays the Avs really tight. They play them really hard. And then you get the penalty, you get the power play, which, like you said, if I had a nickel for every power play that looked great and couldn't score, I could probably pay off at least a month's mortgage on my house.
Sure.
But then I agree. They take some momentum from that. They don't really get much. And then all of a sudden, 35 seconds left in the period in the first, and Nathan MacKinnon scores. And You're like, all right, I think that right there is going to set things up. And then it did. The second period just felt like it was even the penalty kill didn't look too dangerous. And then you come out and you completely take control of the game from there. It was just absolutely the Avs owning every inch of the ice throughout this game, it felt like.
Yeah, the first period was winding down, and they're down 1-0, and I'm thinking to myself, man, we're going to go into first intermission down. I don't feel like that's happened too often this year. And then, bam, like Nathan MacKinnon gets a goal with like 37 seconds left or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he does it again in the second period where he scores with like 33 seconds left in the period off a beautiful pass from Landeskog, who was just, again, he just continues to just take off. Like he's so settled in. Right now. He's fine.
Yeah.
We have no more concerns about Gabe Landeskog the way that he's playing. We'll continue. We'll talk about a lot of guys. But I thought after the first, while Vancouver, I thought played well. That was the best that you were going to get from them, though. Yeah, you got out of that period, you were tied. Even if MacKinnon didn't get that goal, you felt like, okay, like I think that's the best shot that Vancouver has to offer you. Make some adjustments, and away you go. The goal changed everything. And then in the second period, because Vancouver is doing a very good job. Yeah, I say it was sloppy is because what Vancouver was doing in the neutral zone was just not giving the Avalanche anything. They were not letting them carry the puck into the zone. You know, they did very well, I thought, defensively. And then in the second period, you saw right off the bat, the Avalanche were like, all right, if you're going to clog up the neutral zone, we just won't use the neutral zone. We'll just throw passes from defensive zone to offensive zone. And if we connect on them, great. If we don't, it's like a play action pass in football. Like, it keeps you honest that we're, that, and then that just kind of opened things up, and then away the Avalanche went. So it was just a small adjustment that they made. And once the Avalanche kind of just took that over, and they just, it seemed like they could just do whatever they wanted to do. Vancouver still gave you their best shot, but it's just their teams at different wavelengths right now. And even with Wedgwood, and we'll get to him too a little bit later. That's the good thing. Like, he went out. We do have an update on him already, so we'll talk about that. But Blackwood comes in, you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
So overall, I just thought this was a very solid. Is it wrong that I'm like, we only won 3-1? Is that the where's the 5 and 6 spot that you're putting up? Come on now.
Well, and I mean, Nathan MacKinnon pushing for the hat trick, and you could hear like the collective excitement build in the third period with the empty net when MacKinnon got the puck on his stick, and it's like, oh my gosh, here it comes, and everybody's reaching and ready to throw the hat, and then Vancouver collapses on him and prevents it. But no, there was in the first period, there was one moment that I took down a note, and at that moment I said, here's the momentum change. And it was, I almost said Cale Makar. It was Sammy G with the puck up by the blue line with Quinn Hughes just hammering him, like doing everything he could. And Sam Girard puts on his nice little La Tornade spin move and just blasts right past Quinn Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
And Quinn Hughes had a pretty solid game. I thought he actually played pretty well overall.
Yeah.
But that moment right there, I was like, no, that's the Avs are feeling themselves. That's when it's going to be. It's like, yep, this is going to be a good rest of the game from this spot on.
You feel for Quinn Hughes right now because like he's a great player. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. But it's almost like all on him right now. Agreed. And like he made some solid moves out there. He got away from defenders, but he can't. As a defenseman, you can't do it all. Like, you can't be asked to do everything as a defenseman and make up for all the shortcomings of the offensive abilities of your team as a defenseman. Like, he can score, but not at that clip. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a lot to ask. So I agree with you. I thought he played a pretty good game, but I love the play that Brock Nelson made on him when he was back checking, just lifted his stick at the absolute perfect time. Nelson goes back in the other direction. If they had scored on that, I think it was Ross Colton who just missed the shot wide. Yeah. If they had scored on that from beginning to end, from the turnover or the takeaway to an offensive goal, would have been one of the sweetest goals. I don't know if anything can take away from that Landeskog goal from the other day for the year.
Yeah, maybe not.
But that one would have been in the top 5 for sure for me if they had scored on it. That would have been
the play was still great. It doesn't make any highlight reels on anything because it's not a goal on the other end, but that's the type of stuff that, especially I feel like coaches who are trying to teach young players defense and how to play defensively and make smart moves and make smart plays like that, that's the type of play that you look to. Because I thought Nelson, like you said, he timed that perfectly. He lifted the stick. He got the puck. Perfect. Like, it was beautiful. So
yeah. And we'll talk about Nelson in a minute here, but I also wanted to just bring up that Val Nichushkin did return for this game.
Yep.
And I like that they put him on the third line. I kind of really wasn't even thinking that, really, maybe even wasn't expecting it. But, you're not dropping Gabe Landeskog down with how he's been playing. So I thought they were just going to kind of put Colton back down on the third. But they didn't do that. They like how that second line is playing, and you reward them for that. And maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to get Val Nichushkin, like, who hasn't played in a handful of games. Get him out there, get him some minutes, just get him back acclimated to. That's the luxury you have right now.
I know.
Of putting him on a third line and everything is fine.
Yep.
So it's crazy, but and I thought he looked okay. So we'll see where we go from here.
Colton-Nelson-Landy line is just, they are buzzing right now. They've just got something going. So there's no way. And Bednar, I think, said exactly that. He's like, they've got a chemistry. We can't break that up. So that's where Val's going to be on the third line. I think, I heard that on the radio with Connor. I was like, that makes sense. And they played that way again. I did like seeing Landeskog out there more with MacKinnon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and before we get on as well, I do want to point out, my buddy sent me a text. He goes, I have confirmed Nathan MacKinnon will only smile if Gabe Landeskog is involved in the goal. Otherwise,
it is so true. So true. I thought the same exact thing. Like, that's the only thing that will make Nathan MacKinnon smile.
The only
Gabe
way.
Landeskog. It's so funny that he sent you that text.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Yeah, like,
confirmed.
That is gotta be, if it's a Landeskog goal, you get a Nate smile.
He will smile. That's the only thing.
Or a Landeskog assist. Anything. Yep.
Anything. Yep. Oh, that is hilarious. All right. All right. Let's get a break in here, and when we come back, we'll talk about Brock Nelson and some Scott Wedgwood stuff too, as well. And of course, our sound check is yet to come. So we'll do all that after this. Let's hear from Drip Drop. And when you're hydrated, everything just works better. Your focus, your energy, your mood, even your skin. And that's why you got to use Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps you running at full power no matter what your day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands. And it's using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of the top college and pro athletes. And like I've been saying on these reads for Drip Drop, and me the past week, as you can hear, and it's been working wonders. Believe it or not, it has been working wonders. And right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off of your first order. So go to dripdrop.com, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That is dripdrop.com. Promo code, once again, is LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before hitting the ice and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Also brought to you by Doer. Zach and I have been talking about Doer for the past few weeks and wearing their jeans and their shirts. Can't go wrong with these things. Absolutely comfortable. We were talking about wearing them at Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving meal, which happened. And again, if you were listening and heard the meal that Zach prepared for his family, you needed the 5-time stretch in the Doer pants for what you guys ate.
You did, and it came in handy. It was fantastic. I mean, most comfortable post-Thanksgiving meal experience, and you don't have to be that awkward person trying to adjust. They're just comfortable, and they still look great too. That's a key piece.
And for two guys that are all up on the fashion of the world,
100%.
They fit the bill, and they have 5 times the stretch of traditional denim, like we were talking about, and they're antibacterial, meaning that your jeans stay fresh longer, so you can wear more and wash less. They're made with Cool Max that regulates your body temperature and wicks moisture, so it keeps you cool and comfortable as the temperature changes. Simply put, Doer makes the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice on style. And you can check them out in store right in Denver at 2621. Where is it?
Larimer Street.
So head over there and you can use the promo code LOCKEDONDenver in store for 15% off of your first order. Or you can shop online at shopdoer.com. That's shopdoer.com/LockedOnDenver for that 15% off online as well. Shopdoer.com/LockedOnDenver. Go check out Doer today. All right. Talking about that second line, talking about, Gabe Landeskog, who's just got settled in. He's fine. You have Ross Colton, who's come up to that second line. That's rolling. And Brock Nelson really seems to be driving that line as well. So he's settled in nicely too. And this is exactly where we wanted everybody to be, where we thought everybody could be. And, I don't know, again, if people will ever get over the dollar amount that's associated with Brock Nelson, forget about the dollar amount. How's he playing?
Yeah.
He's playing great hockey right now, and he gets another goal. Fantastic play by him too.
Yeah, it was.
Fantastic play where he just drags the leg to it. It was so close, and I think Altitude purposely was not showing replays of how close it could have been because it was Landeskog, I think, right, that was bringing
Yep.
the puck into the zone, and Nelson was dragging that leg, and then Landeskog threw him a nice pass, and he just fires it past the goalie. So, but I was like, great play. And I'm just waiting for the review. Are they going to review? And they didn't. So it must not have been as close as it looked. But great play.
No, and they pointed it out on the broadcast, like you said, that Nelson really dragged that back leg to keep it onside. Definitely lots of props to Landeskog because when you're going to pull two defenders onto you at the same time, you're going to open someone else out. And even dragging the leg, the fact that Nelson was able to get the step ahead of his defender and basically be on the breakaway, little mini breakaway there for himself, and then to shoot that where he did.
Perfect.
I mean, just perfect shot. So, like you said, Nelson is he's in a groove. He is playing very well right now. And yeah, contract whatever aside, like you just got to look at what the production is because the contract is already like it's the contract. Don't worry about it. What's he doing? And right now, he's doing what you need him to do, as is most of the rest of the team. But Nelson, especially, just is in. And the defensive side of it, too, like you said, there was that. I made the note of that same play where he broke up the Quinn Hughes opportunity there, too. And so when you can play both ends of the ice pretty well in a game and you get that goal and you're on, what is this, a 3-game point streak, 4-game point streak?
I just brought up his stats. So he actually, he had a goal in this game, the game against Montreal, the 4-point game. The 3 games prior to that, he didn't score at all, believe it or not.
Oh, really? I thought he had one.
No, in Minnesota, San Jose, and Chicago, he had nothing. But prior to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, he was on a 5-game point streak. With 1 goal against Buffalo, goal and an assist against the Islanders, goal and an assist against the Rangers, an assist against Nashville. So yeah, he went a few games without scoring, but
so my bad. I thought he had one against San Jose.
I did too. Yeah.
Awesome.
But over the course of, these past few weeks, like he's just looked so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. He's getting shots on goal. He's setting up his, his line mates. He's a great defensive forward. So you're always going to get that from him. Just everything that they needed. Great face-off guy. Yes. Really good face-off guy. So, and he has that scoring ability. So the shot that he took, like, you're like, wow, but no, Brock Nelson can do that. He can do that. And he can do that very well. So nice that he's settling in. So, go back to the Nathan MacKinnon, like the first goal, because I had a note there of the guy just seems like he has like the puck just is magnetic to him. And he was just he didn't have to move a muscle.
No.
And who was it that shot the puck from it was almost like right inside the blue. Was it Micieli?
Micieli shot the puck from deep. And then I think Taze got a tip, which then hit the pad of Lankinen and then bounced right out to MacKinnon. And so I agree. Like,
you know it's going to be there.
I know that they practice the rebounds, and I know they go for that. That one, and originally my daughter's standing there watching it. She's like, I love those plays because they're just like, oh my gosh, I have the puck, and now I get to score, and it's just like a nice surprise. And I was like, oh, they practice those all the time. And then I rewatched it. I'm like, no, you're right. This one I think was sort of a lot of luck there.
But how much, I know he plays on that side all the time, but he's usually not. I mean, most of them you're like a little bit further out because he doesn't really play like net front all that much. Yeah. He's not. But he was close to it. He's inside the dot. And just for that moment, it's exactly where the puck goes.
Yeah.
And it's almost like if it's anybody else would have been like, oh, that's pure luck. But it's Nathan MacKinnon. So I'm like, he knew it was going to happen.
Somehow.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And for that to be his 21st goal of the season, and then he gets a 22nd with 33 seconds left in the second period.
Right.
And again, that one, more credit to Landeskog, because what a pass that was too. He just, again, plays the puck beautifully, sees what's going on. He's such a heads up guy. And you see MacKinnon basically by himself in perfect scoring position. So yeah, you're going to pass it right there for the one-timer.
Yep.
And so that gets Mac's 22nd goal. Just, my goodness, what a game from him as well.
It was great stuff. I want to get to this Scott Wedgwood stuff. So why don't we get our final break in and we come back? Like he was taken out right around halfway. Was it
Ish,
in the
yeah.
second? Yeah.
It was in the second.
Excuse me. So we'll talk about that. If there's any concerns going forward, Jared Bednar did make a comment on it. Clearly, he knew he was going to be asked that in the post-game press conference. So we'll talk about that. We'll get some comments from the subtext people and do our sound checks right after this. We got FanDuel NFL Sundays. They move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets on as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. And for the Denver Broncos, there's been a lot of momentum swings and highlight moments in this season. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, defense tightens up, or the moment flips after a turnover or a last-second field goal by the Broncos.
Or a last-second pass batted down.
All that fun stuff that they've been doing. This week, it's Raiders week, right?
Sure is.
And they got to be like a touchdown favorite, I got to think over.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the latest odds, but I got to imagine they're at least 7 points up.
I got to think so. So if you want to be in the middle of the action all season long, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you with FanDuel. All right, so Scott Wedgwood was taken out, somewhere in the second period. I don't remember the exact time. Mackenzie Blackwood comes in, shuts everything down. So good. Tandem is working like it should. But now, the Avalanche are going out on a 4-game road trip right now. And you have to, first of all, you didn't know what it was. We do now because I'll have you read the quote from Bednar if you got it. But in the beginning, they showed him, it was kind of funny, on the altitude broadcast, they were showing Wedgwood come to the bench. Looked like he got something from one of the trainers. Maybe it was because we kind of know what it is. Maybe it was like a muscle relaxer or something like that. But yeah. And then after that, then he plays a little bit more and then comes out. But you also had a few Avalanche players yesterday or a couple of days ago miss practice because they have what I have in whatever cold this is. And maybe it was that. But I was thinking, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't play. You have a great tandem here. And if he was a little bit sick, go with the guy who's not sick. And he didn't get sick halfway through the game. He didn't feel, so what is this? I didn't see anybody run into him. So I didn't see any of that stuff. But Jared Bednar was asked, and he did give an answer.
Yep. So at the press conference, Bednar updated us. He said that Scott Wedgwood's back tightened up on him and that he's not too concerned about it right now. They pulled him out for it. It was a precautionary decision, basically. And so that's why the muscle relaxer would make sense there. If he's saying his back's tightening up, something's bugging him there, try whatever to maybe help him out. I don't know that a muscle relaxer would be the right thing. I don't know what they're allowed to take or what they get from the trainers and all that stuff. I mean, I know that NFL guys go to the sidelines and get a shot injection in their totally messed up knee that would put me out for 10 years and then go back in and play. So I know they've got some good stuff. But yeah, he takes that, comes back, can't do it. Again, it sounds like it's all precautionary. As far as immediately after the game updates, this is the best we could possibly hope for. It was real information, and it doesn't sound too concerning.
Yeah.
That's more than we get from like almost anything. When Val got injured, it was, well, we'll see, and we don't know when he'll come back. So no real information and terrifying. Like, how long is he going to be out? So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, hopefully he's all good. I'm assuming tomorrow we'll get some more information on it.
And he was playing pretty well
Yeah.
up until that. He had that nice save on Kiefer Sherwood on the breakaway.
Yeah, he did.
Great save there. Maybe it was something like that. Maybe just, goalies are bending every which way possible. And maybe it was just a move that he made that just kind of tweaked something. And you look at the schedule, you're playing Thursday in Long Island, and then you're playing Saturday against the Rangers. And then, they got a back-to-back on the weekend. Yep. So if you're going to give Mackenzie Blackwood those 2 games to give Wedgwood as much rest as possible, he wouldn't have to play until Sunday,
which
is okay. Out. You know what I mean? So that's a solid rest he could get just to make sure whatever that is 100%. So that the schedule kind of works in their favor for him to take a couple games off, and the Avs will be okay.
Yep. So. No, it's definitely seems like it's going to be positive. I agree. I think next 2 games you give to Blackwood, and then Sunday let Wedgwood come back in. Sure. That makes a ton of sense.
Yep. So, all right. Let's hear from some subtext people, and then we'll get to our sound check and wrap this thing up. So we got Madam Battleaxe here. Says, just so amazed at how dialed in we are. They're just dominating. I really hope Wedgie is okay. Well, you have our answer. Our lumber yard is just amazing. Brock Nelson was just amazing. She's thinking everybody is amazing.
Everything's
today.
amazing,
and everything is awesome. So that's not her sound check though. Should have been.
It could be soon,
right? Her sound check, because they are golden and have the Midas touch so far. Bruno Mars, 24 karat. Is it 24K magic? Or is it 24 karat magic? Like how is I know the song, but I actually don't know the title.
No idea. Yep.
I don't know if it's if you say the song's title is 24K magic, or is it 24 karat magic? I don't know.
24,000 magic.
That's good. Let's see. We got Vargar here. Just simply says that Landeskog's been finding his stride. Yep. And I can't disagree with that. Because, he has. He has been.
Absolutely has been.
Adam says Brock making a case for his Selke tonight. We talked about he was number 10 on the Athletic Selke ranking.
Best defensive forward. And then you make that play. Makes sense.
Yep. He says, felt like the Canucks game plan was to try and outwork the Avs. It did not end well for them. The Avs just inflict their will on teams, and it's so fun to watch. Soundcheck. Malinsky confirmed on the post-game show that the victory songs in the locker room is Taylor Swift, The Fate of Ophelia.
Okay.
I
suppose. Cool.
I will take your word for that.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. Yeah. And I wanted to end with this one because we got a message from Shorzy over in subtext. And we haven't done one of these in a while. Like when Kyle was with me, we used to get people sending in like when they had like a dog or a cat pass away. Like, hey, can you give a shout out to my dog or my cat? Because like, we're especially you. With animals. And we'd always give out, the good boy shout out. Yep. And we got one from Shorzy. Not to be like a downer here, but I think these are like important because animals are such a big part of like life, right?
Yeah.
And he had a dog pass away, and his name was Max, which for me hits home because that's my son's name is Max. Yeah. So Max the Mastiff is what he had, and he said he was an avid fan for the last 5.5 years of his life. And he can't watch tonight's game. Said last week he was okay. And this week they don't have Max around. So, and he did right after the game. Said it's been a tough day, but I felt like I had to watch for Max. Great play in the second period for sure. and love seeing them get the win. So, yeah. So sorry to hear that. Like, it's the worst thing in the world to lose a pet, but this sound check is for the best boy, Max the Mastiff. So glad he brought you 5.5 years of happiness and was a good Avalanche fan. So
nothing better than that. Nothing better than that at all.
So we're always happy to throw out a good boy shout out whenever we can. So why don't we do our sound checks, and that's how we'll wrap this one up. This is where we pick a song that summarizes the most recent game and put these songs on playlists on Spotify and on YouTube Music. All I have to do is search for LOA Soundcheck volume number 5 is where you can find these songs. So go ahead. What do you got for this one?
All right. Well, tonight at Ball Arena was Grateful Dead night. So we're going Grateful Dead.
Okay.
And because the Avs just keep on going, they keep on trucking. So it's Truckin' from Grateful Dead is my pick for tonight's.
And I want to say that because Kyle is he is a huge Grateful Dead fan.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive he has picked that in the past. So that is so fitting that on Grateful Dead night that you went that route. And And in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll find something Grateful Dead. But I couldn't because I do my streaming on YouTube Music. That's why we have them on both platforms.
Yep.
And YouTube Music came out with their, like Spotify does, their Spotify Wrapped, at the end of the year, the whole summary thing where they give you like all the bands you listen to and also. So YouTube Music has their version of that. And it came out today. So I got my whole year in review. And unsurprisingly, the band that I listen to more than any other band right now is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Excellent name for a band.
They're phenomenal. Like, do you not listen to them?
I'm not particularly familiar.
Oh my god! Dude, like
guess I'm about to be.
They're prolific as all can be. Like, they have 27 albums in 15 years.
Okay.
It's wild, and they are all over the place, and every album is phenomenal. So I am like in their like 0.2% of like I listen to them all day long. Nice. So because of that, I'm going with a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard song. This is off of the I'm in Your Mind Fuzz album, and it's the first song in the album, and it's simply called I'm in Your Mind. And I went with that because I feel like that's what like the Avalanche are, that team right now where they can walk into an arena and before the puck even drops, they're in the opposition's mind of this team is so good and this team is on a roll right now. So you get that little bit of an edge. Sports are a mind game. You can play it all out on the ice, but sports, you play it in between the ears too. And right now that's what the Avalanche are. They're in everybody's mind. King Gizzard, Lizard Wizard. Let's do it.
Love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it.
Yep. So
cool.
Go
New
check
band
them
out.
Oh, dude. Like, you will go down a rabbit hole. I'm telling you. They are phenomenal. All right. That's going to wrap it up for today. So we'll be back tomorrow. Talk about anything new going on in the Avalanche world, and just have another fun episode. So tune in to that one. But for this one, thank you for tuning in and making it your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Micieli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow, where, of course, you've made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.